Hello, everyone. I need to make a dedicated video all about my thoughts, feelings, and theories going into Onyx Storm on Tuesday. I am fully consumed by thoughts of Zayden Ryerson right now, more so than usual. I genuinely can't stop thinking about it. Like, I am fully spiraling. Some of my theories are getting progressively unhinged. I am still like 25% through Iron Flame, so I honestly might have more after this, but I need to film this before Tuesday. I need to talk about it. I'm like actually starting to descend into madness. I read a few Rebecca Yarros books so far in this year, other than Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. Last Letter, Things We Leave Unfinished, Variation, a couple more. And one thing I have learned about Rebecca Yarros is that she is a pro at making us sob, for one. Her signet is most definitely emotional torture. So I know we should expect some tears. And I love that. I love an emotional book, but I'm not sure if I'm ready because I know she writes in a W and I know we're like at the middle point of that W, or Iron Flame left off at the top of that middle point. I think it's going to be bad. I don't think it's going to be the worst. Obviously, we still have two more books to go, but I think it's going to be bad. And I know we have a long wait until the fourth book, which I support. She needs her rest. But I'm like genuinely so worried for myself for Tuesday evening. And I know that I'm going to be like one of the first people to finish it on actual release day because I know people are getting early copies. And I'm fearing that I won't have anyone to talk to about it. But I'm like fully descending into chaos because everything I've learned from her writing style is that she really gets you where you don't expect it. I am someone who usually sees plot twists coming. I feel like I can guess a lot of things. I actually guessed that Zayn was an Intendic pretty early on. I guessed that Brennan was alive, but I just know that there's going to be a big twist in this series that we don't see coming. And the longer I think about this without getting Onyx Storm, like the more unhinged I'm getting. So my newest theory that like I just kind of thought about like an hour before this is that the Venom can't be our big bad. Like they cannot be the end all be all because this is a 5-book series. We found out about the Venom so early on. I feel like that can't be it. Like there has to be something bigger. Like maybe the actual big bad is like Navarre, maybe like them forcing dragons into bonds or like something like that. I don't know. I feel like I don't know what it is just yet, but I feel like it can't just be the Venom. Like there has to be something more, something deeper, something fishier, something more sinister. Because like the Venom are Venom, like they just want power, they're evil, of course. But I feel like that's all been like established. I feel like there's something more. I don't know. I just really feel like there are. Like incoming Throne of Glass spoiler, we didn't find out about the Vogue until like book 3 or book 4. So I don't know. Just from reading her other books and like how surprising they are, there's something more. Going on. And I don't know exactly what it is, but there is something more. I know it. To show you how insane I am, here's my freaking whiteboard of theories that I keep like adding to. But then also on the unhinged train, I'm starting to think that not all Venom are evil and that like there's a way to be a Venom, or maybe not even a way to be a Venom, but a way to pull from the earth without being evil. Because at the beginning, when Violet is talking about the fables, she says that they were warned against pulling from the ground and to pull from the sky instead because it was easy to take too much. So I'm feeling like there's a way to walk that line. And if anybody can walk that line, it's Zayden. I'm it's Zayden. Like look at his control. And then kind of with that, I don't actually know if I believe this one, but like, what if Violet's dad is Venom? Just a thought. Because he was like very pro scribe. He just says in her note to her that he knows she'll make the right choice. We assume, I feel like, that right choice is decided with Tyrandor, but like, what if it wasn't? Like, what if he's like, I want you to come to the dark side? I don't know. I'm like getting so unhinged. Like, please don't take any of this seriously. I don't know what I'm talking about. These are just like my thoughts. Um, with that, I definitely think that Zayden's mom is Venom. Again, I really don't have proof for that, but I do. I feel like she's Venom, and I think she's an evil Venom. I don't know why. I just do. I feel like she's evil, but I feel like she's gonna see that he's Venom and be like, "Hello, son," and it's gonna be like a Darth Vader type of moment. Um, yeah, I don't know. You don't even want to be inside my brain right now. Like the things and the twists that I'm thinking of that she might throw in there. Like part of me thinks like Bodhi might be evil. I don't know. I feel like he knows way more than he's leading on. I feel like there's no way that with his power of countering signets that he doesn't know that Zayden's an intrinsic. And where the heck was he? All of Iron Flame. I feel like something's going on there. Like maybe he knows Zayden's mom's a Venom. Maybe he's part of it. Like he seems really jealous of Zayden. I'm a little bit worried that he might not be on our side. And then with that, one that I think is pretty confirmed, this one's not unhinged, at least in my head, this is confirmed, is that Naolin turned Venom, saving Brennan. They were like lovers or very, very close friends. And yeah, he pulled too much when he was siphoning and he became Venom. And then I think Brennan is somehow connected to the venin via that like rune scar. Especially we know that wyverns are created using runes. So that feels like a little bit suspicious. And maybe Brennan doesn't know. Maybe he's like not in on it, but I feel like he's definitely connected somehow. And then I also think that Naolin might be that sage that Xaden and Violet are seeing in their dreams. Because that would make sense with him being connected to Taryn. And I think Taryn totally knows because he's like, we don't speak of that one. I feel like he wouldn't talk like that if he was just dead. You know what I mean? Because, like, of course he would be sad, but I feel like him turning Venom would be that much more hurtful, you know? Um, but yeah, going back to the idea that like maybe Navarre is actually the big bad, that just like makes sense to me because why else did the Seventh Dragon's Den just like leave? Like, what's going on in the Isle Kingdoms? They sound pretty sick. Like, I want to go to the Isle Kingdoms. Why are they only talking to Peromial? Like, why did the Dragon Den leave? Why did they leave Indarna behind? There's something like sketchy there, and I feel like it's more than just Venom. Like, it can't just be that they were hiding the truth of the venin. Like, it has to be deeper than that. There has to be some big twist, and it's driving me a little bit crazy that I don't know what it is. And I feel like we're not going to know what it is at the end of this book. I feel like it's going to be a few books. And then again, I'm starting to think everyone's a venin. I like literally feel like I'm going crazy. I'm like, he's a venin, he's a venin, they're a venin. And then I'm like, are the venin even bad? I'm like truly spiraling for real. But I definitely think Violet is like a third venin and then a third dragon, at least connected to them. Maybe she's not actually a third venin, but I really think she got attacked by a venin while her mom was pregnant. And then I think she was like somehow saved or cured with like feathertail blood or like the dragon eggshell of like a feathertail or something like that. And then I don't know how that would play in with like her dad potentially being venin. Maybe he was the one that attacked her. I don't know. That's like probably a little unhinged. But yeah, I think there's something more going on with her there. The silver hair, like that is leading Venom connection for me. And then also just like her ability to get respect from dragons and talk to dragons and bonding to dragons. Like, come on. There's something more going on with Violet than meets the eye. I think we all know that, but I really do think she's part dragon. I know that sounds so crazy. And a lot of my friends like think I'm fully unhinged, but I really think so. And I think when she says that she commands the sky, I think that means more than lightning or pure power, because we kind of know her signet's not actually a lightning wielder. It's deeper than that. It's pure power. Lightning is just like what she feels comfortable with. I think her commanding the sky, and when she says like I'm infinite, I think it means more than that. Like maybe she controls the dragons and the wyvern. Like maybe she can like fully control the entire sky. You know what I mean? I don't know. And then I feel like too, if she can control the sky, doesn't that mean that she also kind of controls like Zayden's signet? Because aren't shadows like part of the air and therefore the sky? I don't know. This like probably doesn't make sense. I feel like my thoughts are so jumbled right now. I should honestly be like institutionalized. Why do I care so much about a fictional book? And I know I'm going to have it in my hands in like a couple of days, but I genuinely can't stop thinking about it. Like I've been trying to like read other things, write other things, but like I can't stop thinking about it. I feel like I'm fully in this world and I'm trying to figure out the truth. And speaking of the truth, I was on the truth sayer train for a while about Violet's second signet, but I really think she's an intrinsic. I think she's a different type of intrinsic than Xaden. I think she's like potentially a stronger intrinsic. I think she can like see other people's perspectives and like dream walk and things because I think those were actually Xaden's dreams. I don't think they were her dreams. Um, and I think the Venom wanted Xaden so badly because A, his mommy's Venom and she wants her son with her, and B, they want him to control her. And there's so many hints at Violet being the strongest rider of her generation, which I get. Like, Taryn's a badass, but I feel like there's more to it than that. And I have read this book like 5 times. I know, I'm kind of embarrassed about that. But I'm seeing so many points where Rebecca Yarros drops these like little hints so early on. Like literally within the first like 10 minutes of the Fourth Wing audiobook, she's like referring to Violet in the same sentence or the same word as like lightning. Like that's a subtle hint that she's going to be a lightning wielder. And there's mentions of Venom within the first like 2 or 3 pages. Like she is dropping hints early. So I just feel like there has to be more to it than that. And I just think Violet, I mean, Violet's like our main character, right? But it's called the Empyrean series. It's not called the Dragon Rider series. It's not called the Violet series. Like it's called the Empyrean series. So I think like either in her part dragonness. Now I don't think she's gonna be like a dragon shifter or like anything like that. I just think she has like dragon blood in her somehow. Like she's absorbed it and it's given her like a sense of power over them. Because dragons talk to her. They're not supposed to. Coda talks to her, and Coda is an elder. If any dragon's gonna talk to her, like just the elder is just gonna talk to like a random powerful rider, I feel like no. I feel like there has to be a deeper reason for that. And I think we'll see that like Endarna and Violet end up being like our true main characters. I don't think Terran's gonna make it out of our series alive. I don't think he'll die this book. I think he'll die maybe next book or the last book, but I don't think he's gonna completely make it out. I do think we'll see a lot of that seventh dragon den in Onyx Storm. I think that'll be like her main mission is like going to the Isle Kingdoms, talking to them, trying to like get them to help, and her father's research as well, which maybe like includes her being part dragon. Why he was like researching feather tails, I don't know. Um, I don't have like proof for like any of these things, or how they would work, or if they make any sense. This is just like a full look into my insane brain at the moment. But with dragons, I think Coda is a good guy, and I think he's been a good guy all along, and I think he's been like a little puppet master because he knew about Andarna. He knew about the seventh dragon's den. Like he talks to Violet, and the relics that he gives the marked ones, I don't think those are a bad thing. I think they grant them some sort of power, potentially a second signet. I know I've seen a lot of people talk about that because they've talked about Liam like wielding ice at the end, and I think Day like means ice or something like that. I feel like I saw that somewhere. I don't know if that was a mistake, but I feel like that's a pretty big mistake. So maybe every marked one has like a second signet, which would make Xaden have 3 signets, which would be like a little bit crazy. But I mean, alone, I know dragons don't like decide the power that they're going to channel, but like when he gave those relics, maybe he like controlled the fact that Melgren could only see battles if there was 3 or less marked ones, because that's kind of crazy. Like that is in favor of the rebellion and Tyrandor. So I don't know. I think he's always been a good guy. I definitely want to hear more about dragon politics, which is interesting because I'm not usually like a huge politics girl in fantasy books. I like want the romance, the friendships, the deaths, the battles, but not as much the actual like politicking. But I am really curious to like sit in on an Empyrean meeting, and I think Violet's gonna sit in on an Empyrean meeting at some point. Like I really think that that's gonna happen. I think we're gonna get a big marked one betrayal. I think it's gonna be Bodhi, unfortunately. I don't know why. I get like jealous vibes from him. Where was he again? Like, I'm suspicious. I also think we're gonna get a March 1 death. I feel like it's gonna be Imogen. I don't know why I feel like it's gonna be Imogen, but I do. And then for this book, for Onyx Storm, I think our big death is gonna be Mira. I definitely agree with all the people that have said it's gonna follow the Harry Potter format. We're gonna have one of Violet's protectors die every single book. And so first we had Liam and then Lilith, and then I think it's gonna be Mira this book. I don't know. We'll see. And then I think we'll have Taryn die eventually, either book 4 or book 5. And then some random ones. I think Xaden has a sibling. I don't know who that sibling is, if that sibling is a Venom with his mommy Venom, or what, but I do think he has one. Um, I don't know. I feel like they just talk about it a lot. His sibling could be Bodhi. I've seen that because they look so much alike. Maybe they're not just cousins. I have no idea, to be honest. But I do feel like he has one. And I think if it wasn't his mom that's the connection, there's some other connection to Zayden and the Venom. I feel like him becoming Venom was like fated. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't just like a thing that happened. I feel like he knew beyond just his dreams that that was like something he was destined for. Um and then back on the fact of Zayden being a Venom, I definitely think we're gonna see Violet like dosing him with power, and I really want to see this. I feel like it's gonna be fun, but I think she's gonna like dose him with just enough power so that he can like hang on because Rebecca Yarros talks about being Venom as like an addiction. So I think Violet is going to effectively be like his like nicotine patch type of situation that's giving him just enough so that he's not dying, but also not so much that he's like becoming a further fledged Venom. Yeah, I'm not sure if I have any more. Honestly, the biggest thing I'm hooked on right now is that the Venom aren't the final big bad or that they're not fully evil. I just feel like there's something there. I feel like it's too easy for them to be like the one and done evil. And maybe that will be the case, but I feel like we just have so much more to go in these books. Like everybody kind of thought that a lot of what happens in Iron Flame was going to happen in later books, but like these books are so fast paced. I think we're going to see a lot happening.